You know the numbers. These numbers are part of our number system, called the base 10 number system, or also called the decimal number system. As a recap, in our number system, we have 10 unique number symbols, and with these, we can create any number value we wish using these number symbols. The number symbols being 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You'll notice that all of those number symbols are just by themselves. As you count up and get to 9, what do you do after 9? How do you write it using these number symbols? The answer is we no longer have a single number symbol by itself to represent 10. We have two number symbols, and this new slot where a number could be is called a place value. So now we have 1, 0, 10. What this means is that we have 1 in the tens place value and 0 in the ones place value. Another example is in the number 46. It is this unique sequence of numbers because we have 4 tens and 6 ones, and together that is 46. The numbers 1 through 9 are placed in the ones place value. After that, we use the tens place value to represent 10 through 90. After that, we use the hundreds place value to represent 100 through 900. And after that, we use the thousands place value to represent 1000 through 9000. As you can see, the smaller place values originate from the right and the larger ones are further left. And also notice that 9 is the cap, the limit to a particular place value. Once you surpass 9 in a particular place value, you have to move up a place value. As an example, let's understand the place value of 8,347. First, let's mark the place values, and after that we see we have 7 ones, 4 tens, 3 hundreds, and 8 thousands combined to get our number of 8,347. Let's do a few more examples. Samantha has a high score of 2,308 points on her mobile game. How many thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones are in Samantha's high score? So let's start this off by writing down the points. 2308, 2,308. And the first thing we should do is break this down based on place value. So the one at the very right, remember that's our ones. It shows how many ones, individual squares, just imagine, that we have. So in this case, we have 8 of them. Next, we have our tens place, which represents the amount of tens that we have. So like 10 individual squares, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that would represent 110. But as you can see, we have 0, so we don't need to add anything here. Next, we have our hundreds place. I'm going to put this down here. Hundreds place. And what that could represent is 1,000 of those squares. So the ones place would be only 1 square, right? Like that. The tens place would be an entire segment of these ones, so 10 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be 110. And the hundreds would be 100 squares. So let's make 10 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And together that would represent 100, right? And in this case, we have 3 in the hundred spot, so that means we have 300. And for this last one, we have the thousands place. And the way you can visualize this one is basically 10 of those hundreds together, right? So in total, this means we have 8 ones. So we have 8. Actually, I'm going to move this to the side so it's a bit easier to work with. So we have 8 ones, 0 tens. So that's going to stay 0 because we have nothing. 3 hundreds. So how much is 3 hundreds? 100 plus 100 plus 100. 300. And then lastly, we have 2 thousands. So we have 2 1,000s. 1,000 plus 1,000 is 2,000. And as you can see, if we add all of these numbers together, we'll get our final number of 2,308. So as for how many thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones Samantha has in her high score, she has 2 1,000s, 3 hundreds, 0 tens, and 8 ones to get her final number of 2,308. Break down 9,886 into its place value components. Okay, so we have 9,886, and we're going to break this down into its place value components. So let's firstly identify the place values. So let's make this a bit bigger actually. There we go. So starting from the very right, remember, our originating spot is our ones place. This means we have 6 ones. Next we have our tens place value, which represents each 10, and we have 8 of them. So 8 tens. How much is 8 tens? Well, that's also known as 80. So we can put 80. Or 8 tens. Plus, now we have this is our hundreds place. And we have 8 of those as well. So we have 8 hundreds. I'm going to put hunds just for a shortened version. What can we also write 8 hundreds as? Well, just 800, right? And finally, we have 9 thousands. So 9 thousands also can be written as 9 thousands. So in total, we just broke down 9,886 into its place value components. We have 6 ones, 8 tens, also known as 80, 8 100s, also known as 800, and 9 thousands, also known as 9,000. Let's do one more example. Break down 447 into its place value components. Let's write it down quick. 447. Starting from the very right, we have our originating ones place. And right here, this shows us that we have 7 ones. Also could be written as 7. Next, we have our tens place. And right here, that tells us we have 4 tens, because 4 is in the tens place. Can also be written as 40, because we have 4 tens. If I have 10, 10, 10, and 10, that's 4 tens. Together, that's 40, right? And lastly, we have the hundreds place. And right here, that shows us we have 4 hundreds. I'm just going to write hund for the sake of space. And this can also be written as 400, 400, because 4 hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4, together would equal 400, right? So breaking this down into its place value components, we see we have 7 ones, 4 tens, also known as 40, and 4 hundreds, also known as 400.